Welcome to your ultimate mastermind. It's the mastermind yourself, Bobby F. Berryhart here, with my sweetheart Sally and my little tiny baby boy. She's not breastfeeding anymore. You don't have to keep him hiding.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, you don't breastfeed on my news feed, then you. Guys, mommy's hiding her boobs. What's going on, Kenny? How you doing? Welcome, Byron. What's going on, guys? Welcome to your ultimate mastermind. Every week we do this. We sit out here. We're going to be out here for about an hour. So you don't have to spend a whole hour with us, but if you do want to
join us,
for a couple of minutes,
send the link here.
And say what's up. That we'd love to be able to hook up with you. Craig, oh, my brother from another mother. Guys, I don't know about you, but me and my brother Craig, we're planning something big. It's no big deal, and probably not the best time to mention it. So I'm just gonna tease you guys. This guy went into Costa Rica and basically upgraded like 10 times. I went to Phoenix with Sally, and I upgraded like 10 times as well. Hey, from LAX, what's up, bro? You heading back home? You must feel like $1 billion. I swear to God. If anybody knows this guy, Craig, I swear to God, you got to get him on your team. You absolutely have to get him to work with you for a session. He does the most craziest, I don't even know what you do, bro. It's like some sort of weird Dr. Seuss inside of my soul. It just basically gets in there and helps you to just sort out some of the energy that's going on within you. And he went out to go and do his thing and upgrade to his next level. Sally and I went out to go and upgrade our next level. Align Life Alliance is going to be coming out sometime in May. Stay tuned. It's going to be so super powerful. Just wanted to plug you in there, Craig. You're an absolute boss, brother, and so blessed to have you in my leagues and to be here with you guys. So every week we basically hang out. What do we do this for? We're affiliate marketers, okay? So we basically teach people how to make an income online, okay? We provide training programs, community, mentorship, leadership that helps you actually grow yourself into becoming, a personal brand to fulfill your social destiny of being able to help others do the same, okay? So when we do this every week, what we want to do is stand up tall for our team, for the people inside of our group, and let you guys know that you got support, all right? So we're on this, excuse me. We're on the Zoom, we're on the Go Live. We're basically just going to be here with you guys until the top of the hour. I know we're coming out to you a little bit early, so stay tuned or stick with us, really.
Feel free to join us if you want to be a part of this or ask any questions.
Yes, please go ahead and drop them in the comments.
How about you type the link?
We're not going to open up the Zoom today. We're just going to talk to them. But you can put all your comments into the Zoom here. Yeah, and man, big love, Craig. Dude, I can feel it. I can feel it from here. I've been watching you. I've been just enjoying the view in your pictures, dude. And man, so super excited to see what happens next. Like, I don't know. I mean, some people know, some people don't know. So the people who don't know, they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm like, trust me, about to change your lives, guys. It's about to change your life. It's a huge transformation. Whenever you go for a big event, the one that we went to was to learn how to communicate better, get past my own limiting beliefs.
And how to be just you.
How to just be you.
What is like, and yeah, getting rid of your limiting beliefs, then you become yourself.
It was nuts because I was faced with who I was, and I was just actually going live yesterday. And when I did, I was trying to complete a point, like say something that was on my mind. And then my little girl had a blow up. So I had to cut my live short. So in case you guys were there, you saw some of the energy. I was basically trying to do a little debrief of the event that we went to. He's trying to put everything in his mouth now. Just like, this looks like something I can eat and possibly choke on. No, thank you, my little tiny sweetie. So I was talking about this the other day. I wanted to bring this up because there are certain things that happen inside of our lives, and they prevent us from doing what the hell we want to do. Anybody feel that? Anybody else understand that feeling? Say aye, or just drop it in the box, drop it in the comments that you want to get somewhere, but something keeps holding you back. And it's just like, man, am I missing something? Do I have idiot on my forehead? Like, what's wrong with me? And we start defeating ourselves with negative language and negative energy. Everybody does it, whether you like it or not. Nobody's invincible of this. And it starts off really young. Like, I got this from Craig, and this is one of those powerful things that's changed my life. I was like sitting there listening to him the first time he did this. And he's like, dude, most of your beliefs are made when you're like 4 and 5 and 6. You know, when daddy or mommy told you yes or no, or this or that happened to you, and then you basically built a life around that. And we basically just do this like meander through life. Oh, I don't have confidence, so I'm going to do this. Or my dad told me that this, so I can't do it. Or I was supposed to go in that direction and I didn't, so now I have to go this way. And this is what life is. It's a series of choices that you make. And that's what you are. You're a compilation of the experiences and the journey and the choices you've made in your life. And sometimes they're working against you. Let's just be fair. Sometimes they're working against you. So what we wanted to do was, I wanted to share with you guys some of these cool little bits and pieces. I was on my Go Live the other day, and I basically started talking about these 5 rights. There are 5 human rights that exist, and you know, I guess there obviously are more. But the way that we were taught, okay, this is what we were shown, that everybody has the right to exist. So if you feel that you're watching this now and like saying so common, so changeable, I believe it. I stand here corrected. I felt like I was incorrect for a very long time, and it's not something that Craig came up with. It's not something that my mentor came up with. It's not something that I came up with. This is something that we all deal with. And the way that I like to think that this happened, you're a kid, okay? So you start, you know, crying, and, you know, you're a baby, and everyone's like, oh, you're such a baby. And then suddenly at a certain point, your cries and your attention become too much. And your parents, new parent here, seasoned pro parent over here, you retired parents now, right? Hopefully. We get tired. We get exhausted. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We get irritated. We talk down to our kids and we tell them, no, come here, let's go right now. And we're basically like, you know, pulling rank on our children, and it affects the way that they grow up. It affected me the way that I grew up. I created a big story around being abused, and you know, and it was like my poor parents, they like did the best that they could. I mean, like, you know, watch them see me now. Like I'm so proud of myself. They're so proud of me. And to think, oh, I had a really, oh my God, like abusive childhood upbringing. Like, no, I didn't. They just didn't know what they were doing. They were young.
They weren't aware of this.
They weren't aware of what we're about to tell you. I mean, maybe they were, but I really don't think that they were so super freaking aware. And then next thing you know, they were like, oh, let's go mess up my kid's life. Like, that's not what they...
Like, we don't go to school and they don't tell you this. I mean, we go to school, but they don't tell you all this thing.
I kind of think that they did tell me a little something like that. Like, I kind of learned a little bit about this. But the first right, the first human right, as we were explained it, is your right to exist.
The right to be.
You don't need to do anything. You don't need to seek any favor. You are loved. You are worthy. You are enough. You are an existence of God. You are a light spirit. You deserve to be here. You're entitled to be here. You're entitled to air. You're entitled to your opportunity of being. Okay, like you have your I am.
You are
all right?
loved.
You are loved. There's rights to protect you. There's governments out there. Like you honestly, and not many people can say that all across the world. But you know, in developed civilizations or developed cultures and nations, we get a chance to say, hey, you know, the state will at least step in, and you know, there's a feeling there to think that you have the rights to exist. Okay?
And that you matter.
That's one of the biggest. Because imagine like the kid who gets put up for adoption, or the kid who gets like grows up with an addiction household. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And the parents are not there, and they don't care about the kid, and they're always like, "Oh, you stupid, this and that," or they smack him in public or whatever. Like this was me when I was a kid. Like I was a little rambunctious little guy, and I got my parents like good. I got them good because they were just like, "What the hell do we do with this little kid? Let me smack him. Let me beat him with the belt, or let me spank him." And this was like my idea of what you. And I remember telling this to Craig. I'm like, dude, I want you to just beat me up, man. I want you to just like take me down and like, you know, beat this thing into me. And he's like, why do you want to get beat up though? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, because I need to learn. I need to learn this. I like it when my mentors are tough with me. And then he's like, you were beat as a child, weren't you? And he didn't say that, but that was kind of the reality. He's like, that's a negative program. Like, you don't need to be beat this into you. That doesn't make any sense. And I was just like, whoop. My mind just blew. And then a couple of weeks later, I go to this event, and I'm like, wow. Because on one side, my parents were like, oh, you're so special, and you're such a beautiful little boy, and every mom and dad wants to tell that to their kids. Yeah. But on the other side, I was getting super, like, you know, disciplined, and I was a bad kid, and I was doing bad things, and I was like stealing stuff and being a bad boy, and, you know, hurting my sisters, and like I was like, you know, good but bad. So it's confusing. That one, I'd either get a hug or a slap, and I didn't really know which one was which, and I was like, So I experienced, thankfully, I experienced the right to exist. I experienced my right to be. Okay, my parents loved me. They wanted to. They showed that to me all the time. They always talked great to me and this and that. Great, I get it. Sally?
So maybe you have experienced too much of that, or maybe not a lot of love, not a lot of that from your parents. But remember that you can give that to yourself. That right can be given to yourself. Only you can give permission to yourself to give it to you.
I was given too much of this. And that's what happens to me. I was given too much of this. This is what happens. I was given too much of this. And now suddenly I had like it needs to be liked. I have to be accepted. If I wasn't accepted, something's wrong with me. If I wasn't like making the jokes or making friends or doing like when I see 6, 8, 9 people on the live, I'm like, sweet, people like me. People want to watch me. And I look at my YouTube and I'm always checking to see how many views I got. And, you know, this social media thing where we're just so focused on how much attention do we get. And I was like, oh my God, my need to be was overinflated. And I got an excess of the right to exist, right? Firstborn, you're the apple of my eye, my pride and joy, oh my God. And this is basically how I live my life. And people on the opposite end, they're going to feel self-conscious, or they're going to feel like, where's my voice? Or they're going to feel super independent or find it elsewhere because they didn't get their needs met, their human rights need to exist.
And they didn't know how to give it to themselves.
What about the one who gets adopted? Any people out there who are adopted and think that feeling, it's like, oh man, and someone said this. And I was like, she was crying. She's like, yeah, my mother never wanted me. And she said I was a mistake and I got put up for adoption. I'm like, this person has a complex around their right to exist, to think that they were never supposed to be here.
That could affect their life for the rest of their life.
That's why I'm saying this. If you're listening to this now, you're watching this live, you're watching this on the replay on my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/Don169. I'll come up with a better handle, like I promise. But the reality is that if you're listening to this and you have, you know, the ability to be a conscious audience or internalize what I'm saying, you matter. You matter, you matter, you matter, you matter. Okay, like your life is warranted and it's absolutely secured in its existence. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The trick about this right is who can give it to you?
Yourself.
Only.
You don't need someone else to give it to you. You don't need to wait for someone else to tell you that you have that right. You give it to yourself.
You can't get it from someone else.
No, only
you can't get it from someone else. Your existence, your right to be, is your right to be this in for you. It's not like, oh, I'm, Sally needs to acknowledge me. And this is what happens when we get into arguments, is that I don't feel like I'm being acknowledged. I don't feel like I'm being heard. And I'm like, oh, I gotta remember this stuff, to remember the fact that I have to hear me. I don't need you guys to hear me. I'm speaking for myself. And this is one of the big, I would relate this back to business. You know, people are like out there needy and it turned me into a people pleaser. And I'm like, trying to navigate through the egos of other people's approval and, or the approval of other people's egos, sorry. And I'm just like, man, this is not a good place to be. This whole needs to be liked complex was like, it took me for a freaking ride because I got beat up in high school. My friends bullied me. My parents hit me when I was a kid. And all these stupid little stories came up to think, oh my God, poor me. Quickly, catch the violin and let's just start singing this song. Sweet.
Yeah, there are ways to really get rid of this limiting beliefs. And
this is your not one chance, but this is your first way to get rid of it, okay? And is to listen to what I'm saying. But imagine you're my sweet little son, okay? You have a right to exist and you don't need to do anything to be loved by God and loved by the universe and loved by people. You have equal opportunities and equal rights as everyone else does who's breathing and who can stand on their own 2 feet. Even if you can't stand on your own 2 feet, you still deserve the right to exist, okay? Just so you understand that. Just in case you got beat, hit, neglected, adopted, disowned as a child, like whatever happened, you overheard your parents say something stupid, doesn't matter. You exist and that does. You do matter, okay? So I was mind blown by this. And I was like, man, that's the one that I got the most of. My parents were always like, Jewish shitty drawing. Like, oh my God, my little artist or whatever showed up. And that was basically how that thing showed up in my life. Okay. How about the next right? Do you want to take one?
Yeah, the right to need.
So what's this one all about?
It's about, it's your right to ask for help. You have the right to ask for help.
The right to ask for help, the right to need someone else. Okay, like you don't have to do this alone.
Yeah.
Like some people are afraid to ask for help. They're too proud. Myself, this is me for a very long time. This is the right that I had to work on. I had to work on my right to need, because I don't ask for things as very much as I'd like to. I don't call out the stuff I need. I don't look at my mentors and be like, oh, help me. I'm usually there stuck in my own head being like, I got this, I can do this. Because I need to be, because my over excess in my need to be, or my right to be, was like, oh, I should be able to do this because I'm amazing. My parents say I'm so awesome and this and that. But then you fail to recognize that you should ask for help. And one of the really most powerful ways you can do this is to reach up to your mentors and reach down to the people who you need to help, who you need to help. Do you have a group, a list of people that you can call on when you need to learn something? Your teachers. And do you have an audience of people, a list of people who are calling on you for the good word, and they want to do whatever they can to help to follow what you're doing? Those are the two. We're looking at the top and the bottom of you. Are you reaching up? Are you reaching down? Are you reaching side to side? Do you find things? Oh my gosh!
Now he wants something. He needs something, and it's okay to ask.
It's okay to ask.
Don't abandon me.
Can I ask you for the need to not push your boobie on my go live? You're gonna be able to stick the boobie on the side there.
Yeah. Another example.
Who wants to see Sally's boobs? Come on, come on.
That's not nice.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Everyone's got this weird complex about like breastfeeding in public. I don't care if you breastfeed in public. I still want to see no nipple. All right. Like that's my nipples. And
that's why we have a cover.
That's why we have a cover for them. Okay, go ahead and feed him then, because he's feeling like he's doing a little bit of the cha-cha-cha.
Well, I just wanted to say that another example is outsourcing. Like for me, I try to do everything, and if I don't know how to do it, I figure it out. I just don't like getting someone else to do it.
That's a tough one.
And it's if you're a mom and you're trying to do everything, you're gonna get tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's trust me, it's worth $100. It's worth $150 to hire somebody and clean your freaking house. Okay, so I'm just telling you guys straight up, you don't have to, worry about that. It's definitely a nice gift to give to yourself. But I want that shit every week. All right, like I want someone to come into my house every week, clean this place 2 or 3 times a week, do my laundry for me. I'll be fair with you guys. My parents are entrepreneurs. We grew up with nannies. So I wasn't the one who did my laundry. I wasn't the one who cooked my meals. And oh my God, silver spoon in my mouth, right? Like I get it. I do my own laundry now. All right. I cook meals for my kids now. I take them to school. I'm their chauffeur. I'm the executive producer of their lives. Like I get their shit done for them. I get it. But outsourcing and finding the need or finding your right to need others is what makes us human. It's what connects us. It's what makes us vulnerable. It's what gives us strength. And you have the right to ask for your need for help. This is why, I obviously I knew this because earlier this year, I'm like, every year I do this. And if you don't do this, now you know, make sure you do this with your life. No freaking exceptions. Hire coaches, hire mentors, hire people who are going to help you get to a better place in your life. Hire people to listen to you and listen to your BS and to help you get to a better place in your life. Like just, if you want to be successful, most of my audience is like 90% of my audience, I would say now, are entrepreneurs. They're people inside of our organization. They're clients of mine. They're people with their own businesses. I have some people that I've collected my collection of friends from my job sites who are not entrepreneurs yet. So they may be like, I get paid training at work. Not the same thing. Go get your Akashic records read. Go get your energy chakras cleaned. Go get your numerology done. What's up?
Okay, so how would they know if they got too much of that or less of that?
I wonder. How would it look if you had too much rights to need? I had too little, so I wouldn't ask for people for help. I wasn't used to acknowledging the fact that I needed to get support. Like I had a really lethal addiction to drugs, right? I didn't ask for help. I asked for support when I was ready to share it, but then there was the need to be. It was the need to be liked. It was the need to be accepted. I had to have a story. I didn't have some sort of traumatic, like accident or overdose or like something crazy. I just got sick and tired, and I was on another drug when I was like, screw this. I got to tell my parents.
But where did that originate, though?
Which?
Your right to need.
The right to need. Well, every baby needs his mommy. Every kid needs to be accepted and have some friends at school. Joseph, what's up, brother? I'm thinking about you, man. I was actually, remember last time I was live, I was talking about the rights and your needs and your like the rights you have, and then I had to cut it short right after right number one, the right to exist. You freaking matter, and you actually have the right to exist and the right to a life. Well, now we're on the second right, which is your right to need. And like perfect example, I had a friend of mine, not going to mention any names, reaches out to me and says, man, I heard about your story. Just wanted to know, how did you get through it? How did you, get through your dark times? That was a perfect example of your right to need. Your right to need said, how do you do this? I need to know. I need help. I need something. I'd like to know, how did you get over this? And so this, my friend of mine, no names mentioned, decided to reach out and make himself known or herself known that, I'm not going through the best time in life right now. And, I'd love some help. What's worked for you? So I'm like, oh man, let me tell you. And I basically just drilled off a bunch of cool things that I've talked about or done, some people that I listen to on YouTube, books that I've read, courses I've taken, people I've hired, like things like that. Because I obviously want to see the world get better. That's what I do. I'm a spiritual coach. I help you guys introduce yourselves to who you are. But look at this one. I'm pricey. So someone comes to my site and they're like, oh, I want to book in with Bobby. Let's do this. Bam, 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 bing, bam, bing. And they go to my site. It's like $268 US to work with this guy for an hour. And I'm like, hell yeah, of course. What did you think? I'll get results. I absolutely going to help you get more of who you are back. Yeah, I'm going to be raising my prices, guys. Like, it's nuts.
They get the return from it.
Of course you get the return from it.
Or more.
Well, that's what I'm saying, a lot more. That's the whole point. So when I'm, I put this post out, and I was like, guys, I do payment plans. Like, if you need some help, you can just message me. I'll pay for your session, and you can pay me back. And, whatever's comfortable for you. As soon as I put that post out, I got to flood my inbox. Be like, oh, you do payment plans and this and that? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I have the right. I expressed my right to be of need, to be in need of others. I was like, well, hey guys, I'm drumming up more business. I'm doing a little promotion for my business. So I'm like, hey, a payment plan's available. And then a lot of people are like, hey, I need some help. So that I can, I can, get my numbers right. I've been meaning to do it, but I'm putting it off because I couldn't afford it. And you told me you still do the payment plan. See, they're exercising their right to need some help and to need some specific help. So when I was looking at this, I was like, I need to reach out to my mentors more. And when I did, man, was I met with some powerful energy to think that these people were like right and ready. It's like, oh, dude, if you need anything, let me know. I'll whatever I can do to help, just let me know. That's a true friend. They're not going to be, oh, I don't know. Well, maybe if it's convenient, they're going to be like, if you need anything, let me know. All right. Craig's saying big love, guys. Boarding for Aussie. Safe flight, man. Get home. Get back to your family. Get back to the people that need you. We will be speaking soon, my brother. I can't wait to connect with you again, man. I want to freaking hear everything. It was funny. We were out in Arizona, if you're still watching, and Abundance Codes, the books came up. And I'm like, no shit. My brother's down there right now, and he's learning from these guys right now. And my nanny goes and my babysitter for a little boy goes and actually pulls out the book, and I'm like, oh baby, that's nuts that you would do that. It was so spiritually serendipitous. So Craig, fly safe, my brother. That's where he went. He went and learned his abundance code. I think that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure exactly, but this guy's a wizard, so you would never know what a wizard's up to. You never know what they're doing. Ty, what's going on, brother? I'll bet you are missing this, my good man. Oh, he dropped something up in Los Angeles, and one of my clients came to my house and dropped it off. So this small little thing has been across the world itself.
Oh,
A
wow.
small little selfie stick holder, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should we test it out? No, I'm just kidding. It's waiting here for you, bro. Come on down. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Okay.
This is his new laugh. He's just like super fun. You're so cute. That's how he laughs. He's like.
That's how you laugh.
That's how I laugh because I'm just imitating him now. I don't laugh like that. I laugh like this. Anyways, so your right to need. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I don't know if an excess in the right to need is the inability to. If you got an excess of the right to need, then it would be the ability to be independent. It would be tough to do something on your own.
Yeah, so you can't do anything for yourself.
I think we should just. Yeah, I think he may still be a little bit hungry. Usually when he's crying, I'm like, give him some boob. Like, what's like? That always works for me. Like, I don't know. It's like my son. Anyway, so if you have too much of this, you may be feeling like it may be difficult to do things on your own. I'd like to think that there's some truth to that. Okay, like to think that you may not be experiencing your own right to exist or your own right to need stuff that you would be, or your own right to do things on your own. Instead, it would be showing up as an excess of you, seeking out help from others. But it doesn't really make sense to me because I'm kind of like, I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, well, if you ask for help all the time, you're creating more connection, more boundaries, more electricity is going through. So it's pretty good. Jess, what's going on? We were just at Michael Burnoff's event, Core Strength. Wow, so freaking amazing. It was so super nuts. Welcome to your Ultimate Mastermind. We do this once a week. It's for my boys. It's for my team. It's for all teams to know that there's community inside of our group, that people can come in, ask any questions, hang out with us, get some golden nuggets, get some stuff for their life, figure out what you need in yours, and just show up for my team so that they know that that we are here helping you guys with your mindset and with your, to help grow yourself. So we're going through some rights, human rights, okay? The next right is the opposite of your right to need something. Enters your right to autonomy, okay? Your right to being independent. Your right to independence is a value that says you have the right to do something yourself. You have the right to act by yourself or act within yourself. Sally knows this one.
Because I have too much of that.
She has too much independence and not enough asking others for help. I had I just had the need to be liked, and and to feel like my poo don't stink. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to last very long, and you're not going to be able to create that much level of success if you just keep on relying on yourself. You should be relying on your team. Otherwise, it's just a glorified job that you're stuck to, which is where I'm at, is to think, well, shoot, I want to get my affiliate game strong. I want to learn that. So I want to follow my mentors. I want to follow the people who know what's up and know what to do so that thing can Jessica say, me too, Sally. No shit. I know Jessica. You're a very independent boss woman, takes no shit from nobody kind of thing. This feeling inside of you is to think that if you want a job done right, you're going to do it yourself. And you've been a business owner already, brick and mortar. So we already know that you understand this concept of like, you can't take a break. You can't leave your business. You have to absolutely invest in it. It's a suck on your time, energy, and resources to be super independent and be a one-woman show or a one-man show. An excess of independence separates you from the help that you need from others. And for people who are neglected or for people who maybe don't like to ask for help, this is a wonderful place for them to be. But if you've got a deficiency, if this was not your level of independence, you didn't have this right met, you didn't have the right to fall down, it's like kind of like, okay, take the training wheels, you go for it, do it. Or getting a car for the first time for your parents, like, here's the keys, take it out. Are you able to be independent, or did you get into a car accident the day you took it out and your parents were like, you're never driving this thing again, and you're just like sitting there at 16, 17 being like, my life is over? Happened to me. But the reality is that I actually stole my parents' car, so it was a bit of a different situation. I guess I kind of earned that. But the reality is that if you have too much of this, you're probably going to be wanting doing everything on yourself, everything by yourself, and ooh, that's a tough one.
And that's because you got less of the right to need.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you
100, I don't do it anymore. Things that fall apart occasionally, but the right people delegate to is amazing. See, she's a boss. That's what's up. And that's what you have to do. You have to absolutely keep growing in that direction so you know this is going to happen for you. So absolutely super inspired by you, as always, absolutely inspired by you for sure, Jess. But yeah, that's a huge growth. That's a huge, huge growth, especially for someone who's like, man, super independent. And now I understand the value of delegation. And, you know, it's reframing the phrase, if you want a job done right, the ending should say, hire a professional, hire the right person, hire the right, person to get that done for you. That's my 2 cents. Okay. So here was this next right to human right that we have was all about what I did to like the one I was the most deficient in. It's the one that I overcompensated for. Your right to your voice, the right to assert your voice.
When you talk a lot, how does that?
Because I had a lot of the right to be. So everyone was telling me, "Oh my God, you're so great! Do the dance, do the thing, and perform for us as a kid, and this and that." So I felt like me speaking and me saying stuff and doing stuff was in direct correlation with my approval rating. So when I didn't have my right to assert my voice, because everywhere I go, I started saying things and then I'll get slapped in the face or spanked or corrected, disciplined, whatever, and be like, no, you did it wrong, go back. You're going to get failed. You're going to get fired, or you're going to get broken up with, or, you're going to get, your parents are going to get mad at you. I learned very quickly that I had to hide underneath my voice. I had to hide. This is tough to tell people. I had to hide underneath the ability for me to speak, because it felt like I needed to hear the sound of my own freaking voice. And I was like, wow. It hit me to the core to think, guys, for a minute, that this is what we deal with. This is what we deal with. Like, mommy told me she loved me, and then mommy and daddy told me they love me, and mommy and daddy spanked. So one part says I'm good, the other part says I'm bad. So I'm going to have to shut up, which means I have to speak up, which means I have to learn how to assert my voice as opposed to just, I guess, like not speaking up. I had to build that for myself. And not to say that they didn't say, oh, go out and perform and do stuff. But the reality is that I overcompensated my need to assert my voice because of the fact that I felt like I needed to be liked.
And also, since part of your personality is being a people pleaser, which then turns into like, okay, I want to say something that could offend you, but I'm not going to say it because I want to please you. Ugh. So then the right to voice is not being given to yourself.
Yeah.
You're taking it away from you.
I hide behind being Canadian. I'm like, oh, Canadians don't swear. I'm like, you should be Jessica. But the reality is that feeling is that, oh, because my Australians are like, fuck this, mate.
Oh, yeah, she'll just tell you.
And that feeling in there, I'm like, it's not just Canadian. I just need to be liked. I have to have the approval rating. I got to make sure moms and dads can play my stuff around their kids, and they can be super inspired, and they're not going to be like, oh my God, get him out of my hands. Like, I'm like, make sure that I'm not like, ruining their children. But for me, I was thinking, no wonder I had a lack of assert my voice and an excess of needs to be liked and people pleaser, and my overabundance in my need to my right to exist, that now suddenly I'm overcompensating with my assertion of voice, and I need to say something. People are like, oh, you got the gift of the gab. And I'm like, and then I was like, actually, I'm pretty introverted. Like, there's a reason why I'm doing this. Reason why I'm doing this in my basement. There's a reason why I'm doing this at home. It's because I don't like being out with other people. Okay, I'm too energetically sensitive, and I can only take people in small spurts. And after that, I got to sit back at my computer desk, and I have to sort of like be by myself.
And this is the reason why I feel like I'm not confident to speak on camera. No, I'm still feeding. Because when I was a kid, my dad always said, every time we eat at a table, he always says, don't talk because we're eating. So, what? And I think that was the reason for me now. I'm like, I'm scared to talk.
What?
That was how I was taught. Sorry, Dad, but sorry, Dad.
You know what? I like it. I like your dad. He's a fun guy. He's a great guy. Nothing wrong with him.
He made up a rule that I lived my whole life.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you know right now. Okay, as all the people watching are my witness. You can speak while you eat. You can speak when you have something on your mind. If you feel the need to express yourself, you have absolutely full recourse or full granted permission to speak up and say something. See, in my realm, my dad said, if you want something, you ask. If you don't ask, you won't get. And I was like, huh, okay. And so I started asking for the craziest stuff. And I'm like, hey, Rachel, can I have this? He's like, no. I'm like, well, what the hell is that? Tell me to ask. Like, you can ask, but I'm going to still tell you no if I'm not going to give it to you. And I'm like, oh, man, whatever. And so I didn't get PlayStation, okay? And because I wanted the video games and they told me no, guess who has an addiction to video games I want to collect? Me. I got them all. The Switch, the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro. I'm like, I'm a collector. I'm a collector of games because I expressed my right for control. And that was, oh man, it was just this big mind blow, this huge mind blasting feeling to think that we want to express ourselves and we're going to find it in different places, whether it's in our ability to express and inspire other people or in the ability to destroy ourselves, 2015, 2016, circa Bobby's on drugs and I can't get myself, back out of them. Okay. Like it could do a lot of damage to you because I wasn't asserting my voice. I was hiding in my bedroom, basically doing a carousel of different substances and basically just hating my life. I called it my pain meds, my pain medication, my painkillers. So and imagine me when I came clean about addiction and I started telling people about it. I needed to voice that right. I needed to voice that right that I had something that I was going through, but it was directly linked to my needs to be liked. Because imagine the feeling you just got. Oh my gosh, you were on drugs and you survived. Wow, man, that's such a great story. And I'm like, yeah, right, yeah, that's good. I made it. And I'm like, that's my ego wanting to be accepted. That's my ego wanting sympathy from other people to be like, oh, look, I told them a story and now they're gonna like me or they're gonna accept me or they're gonna listen to me. And oh my God, I had an uncle who was like, or I've dealt with that as well. Everybody goes through that, and I'm so glad you got out of it and this and that. Because I got bullied when I was a kid. So now suddenly I need to be liked by people. I've got this addiction to this feeling. Well, frick, no wonder I'm going live every single day and I work with people all day long because I want people to, at the end of it, I'm like, here, do me a favor. Go post about our experience. Go tell people about what happened when we were talking to each other. Go share with people what happened. And then I go into my thing and I'm reading it. I'm like, ooh, ooh, and I save it and I'm like, oh man, I love this. This is so, like I played a part in their lives. Like I did something powerful for them because I'm stuck around this feeling to think, hey, I need people to actually acknowledge me. Hey, that's why I hate telling my story.
Your story.
Thank you. To be fair, honestly, I'm right there with you. I don't know. I guess there was a time when I didn't want to tell people what was going on. There was a time when I absolutely detested my story, even more so disgusted with myself. And I get it. We go through this. So in case you're in there and you have this need, I will tell you right now, as you are my witness, you're watching this live, you have the right to speak your minds. I was telling this to my kids today. I'm like, guys, you got rights, all right? One of your rights is that if you want to say something, you can. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to be quiet and wait till later. Wait till you don't interrupt Daddy because he's working. But I'm like sitting there doing a session. I'm like, oh my God, your life and numbers, blah, blah. My little daughter's like, Daddy, I want my PlayStation. I want my PlayStation. I'm like, okay. Later, Tala. And she's just like, no, she just wants to bully me into this because she's a powerful little woman. Okay, she's a 6-year-old going on 60. And this woman is just like, little girl's just like, I'm a boss. I'm just going to say whatever I want. I don't care. I'm like, all right, maybe you have a little bit too much of your rights to express your voice, a little self-entitled. Okay, that's that feeling.
We have to teach them like when to actually speak. Sometimes you talk a lot. Sometimes she talks a lot. Sometimes she doesn't talk a lot when I need her to.
Kate
so
says,
it's knowing when to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Also
and I'm glad that Sally's finding her voice because at the beginning I was like, I just talk a lot. And
because once you understand that, oh my God, that's the reason why I'm not confident.
Oh my God.
Understand?
Joseph.
Joseph. Okay.
Oh my God.
So once you understand yourself and knowing your rights, then you know that you can give that to yourself when you need it.
See, I just did a really, really stupid thing right there. When I made fun of her, I made fun of her right to speak. And I didn't mean to do that. She loves it when I tease her and stuff.
Yeah.
And she, she knows that it's fun. And I tell her, I'm like, please don't ever change. Like, I love your accent. I love the way you mess up words.
I'm just doing it on purpose.
I'm like, oh, did you read the manual? And she's like, oh, did you read the manual? I'm like, oh, Manuel. Manuel is my friend, and his name is Manuel. And I was like, ooh, the owner's Manuel. Do you have the owner's Manuel? I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I just love poking fun at, because I'm a bit of a word aficionado. Okay, like I like to speak and stuff. I like to say things, and I like to articulate and enunciate. So I've got that. So when she comes in there and she basically like says these words, I'm just like, oh my God, no wonder I love you so much, because she speaks so much fun. And also look at her, she's got her hair done, looking pretty.
Because I need to feel.
Oh my God, I thought that was your boob for a second. I'm like, did you forget to put your boob back in? No, that's just my son's. That's my son's elbow. No big deal. All right, no partial nudity in this show. So yeah, great. If you don't feel like you have your right to speak, please, you have your right. Give it to yourself. You can.
Don't wait for someone else to give it to you.
Heck, let me give it to you. You have the right. You have the right to remain not silent.
Even if you think it might hurt somebody, if they need to hear it. Just like being a mentor. Do you really want to hear what you're supposed to hear, or what you want to hear? Because it's not going to help you if you just want to hear what you want them to tell you.
See, I believe in a fine little a couple here called diplomacy and tact. Okay, so even if it hurts someone, I am searching for the way to dress up my shit with glitter and freaking sparkles so that people will still take their own crap and still enjoy it. Because I don't want to go out there and be like, you suck, you don't know what you're doing, and this is that, and what the hell's wrong with you, and this is the truth, you need to hear it. And usually if someone says, look, I'm just telling you the truth, they're probably about to insult you. They're probably about to say something to you that's not going to make you feel good. And so I guess there's a way to do that, and you can even just be like, man, I got to give you some tough coaching. Are you open to me saying something? Can I have a space to be honest? Can I have a space to say something bothering me? And then you'll be able to actually get somewhere, as opposed to be like, you know what, man, just being honest here, but you're a real dickhead. In which case you could have turned around and say, you know what, can I tell you something? Like, I really want to be honest with you, but I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't have anything, this isn't positive, but I feel like you're such a dickhead. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? And that feeling could be a lot better taken than if you were just to hide under honesty. So side note, whatever it is, but I believe that diplomacy and tact comes from the guy who needs to be liked. So even me delivering bad news, I'm like, let's see if I can do this in a good way, and like give you a hug as I stab you in the back kind of feeling. Like, it's tough. I get it. And I believe that the more powerful you are as a communicator, the more powerful you will be able to command that space when you need to give someone the tough talk. And if you are a true friend, if you are true to who you are, absolutely you're going to tell someone what they need to hear. You're absolutely going to be honest with them, but you're not going to be mean about it.
For example, your friends, right? They don't want to offend you. So they just tell you things that you want to hear.
Unless you're a guy and your friends love offending you, and we just like tease each other all day long, and I'm just like, man, you guys are dicks. And so but
a true friend will not.
A true friend will be bothered by it, or maybe that's not how you guys get down in your friendship. It's fine. Yeah. You don't need to razz on each other if you don't want to. It's fine. But a real friend will be honest and straight up with you and be like, dude, are you okay? What's going on? I'm noticing you're coming in a little hot or not hot enough or whatever it is. And that's true friendship, when they will tell you the truth, and they will, and hey, hopefully you have people that you have that they could assert their voice. Imagine the people who don't, and they just sort of bite their tongue instead. Crazy. Right number, or yeah, your fifth right, your last right that we were shown. Mm-hmm. Your right to your own sexuality. This is a really powerful one for me, because me and Sally are quite an interesting couple. She holds on to some masculine numbers, like numerology, right? Obviously, I had to check her numbers before I wanted to go see her. I hold on to a lot of feminine numbers. So I like strong women. I like women who are absolutely powerful. And then my mom's like a Leo, born in August, right? August 1st. I'm like, okay, some powerful woman right here. And that feeling is like, I'm gonna look for that in the females that I look to have. So pick out my lovely little Gemini here. And then life path 4, she's like, I ain't got no time for emotions, gonna cut right through this shit. And she obviously has a very loving side to her as well.
Split personality.
I wouldn't say split personality.
Hey,
I would say,
you know, we all have different personalities.
I would say multiple personality.
Yeah, we all do. We all have that.
We all have that. Absolutely. If you don't think you have that, you're kidding yourself.
Listen to yourself when you're talking to yourself. You notice it's always changing.
How about that voice inside of your head that says, stupid, I can't believe it. Freaking such an idiot. Ugh. And then you're so angry at yourself that you're just talking down to yourself. Or how about the voice in your head that says, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you got this, you got this. The big me up voice. Or how about the voice in there that says, I can't. I really can't. I know I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody wants to listen to me.
And all of a sudden it changes to, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to do it now. That's a different.
Sounds like a freaking bipolar. And I'm like, you know what? The earth is bipolar. So at least we got that in common. The earth has 2 poles on it.
So
okay?
don't think you're bipolar. It's normal.
I would say don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
you know,
don't think it's a bad thing.
I was clinically diagnosed with this. I'm unmedicated. I never got into the medication of this. And when the person told me, I was like, I came up with a joke that was like, I was like the voices, all the voices in my head started laughing when someone told me I had a split personality or was bipolar, I had 2 personalities or whatever. I was like, all the voices in my head started laughing. I'm like, trust me, there's more than 2 of you in there.
Yeah.
And I would definitely suggest you pull in just honestly, pull a CEO mastermind meeting inside of your head that they talked about in Think and Grow Rich, your own internal mastermind, and identify the different pieces of you. This is why what I do inside of numerology is so freaking nuts. Gotta go to bed. What's up? Entrepreneurs don't sleep. We just nap. What's up?
Yeah.
All right, Des, have a good night. Thanks for watching us for so long. I appreciate you. Such a boss. I appreciate your energy. So
we didn't explain about the last 3.
Yeah, because I was about to just tell people really quickly, get right with the voices in your head.
The sexuality.
So the 5th one is the sexuality. That will really mess you up. And we were talking about this within our group, and one of my friends was like, he's like, man, I've been sabotaging my little daughter, my little girl, because, you know, she wants to date now. She's a teenager, and I'm telling her that all guys are scumbags, and that, you know, you can't trust them, and that this guy's no good for you, and no this and that. And he was setting her up for a difficult, to think that all men are assholes, because he was a jerk to women when he was a kid. And I'm thinking, wow, what a mind-blowing experience to think that we have to honor and respect our little children, or the way that they grow up. And so we were coming home from dinner today, and we were telling these kids their rights. And I'm like, you guys have the right to your sexuality. And that means you have the right to love yourself, and the right to know who you are, and the right to express yourself as a man, express yourself as a woman, to understand your biology and your anatomy, and to know that you're in love with yourself and that you can love yourself. And that's a really wonderful feeling, because if you don't get that, and you're like, grew up in a religious background, or where your parents were strict, and, you know, sex was a taboo subject and nobody wanted to talk about it, and that may create a paranoia around the word, to be like, ooh, sexuality and kids, oh my God, what do you say? You know, that happened to Sally.
Well, because we're so religious, right?
It's like such a bad thing to say and talk about. And I'm like, you know what? You need to know how your body works, okay? And Christy Malone, what's up? How's it going? Can't wait to connect with you. Only 24 more hours or so before we do our thing. She's my next client. We're gonna absolutely get together and change your freaking life, girl. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. So, and not nuts, but like nuts. Okay, like we're talking about your right to express your sexuality. If you didn't get that, you may be retaliating, you may be going through transient relationships, you may have entered into, you know, like a different sexual preference because you weren't acknowledged by it, or never had that talk, or maybe, you know, your parents broke up when you were kids, and then suddenly it was like, it was a bad thing because next to you saw different men or women with your mom or dad, and it was like you know, that's not my parent, and what are they doing together? And that whole story, I was really lucky to have parents that were with us and parents that warned us and parents that talked to us. But then when I was like 17, I don't say 17, 18, 19, and my sisters were like 2, 3 years younger, they treated them differently. And then they even said to me, it's like, oh, it's because they're girls. And I'm like, you racist son of a, are you kidding me right now? Like, it's because of that? Like, they're girls that you're not going to let them out by themselves? You're not going to let them do the same things I did? Like, that's so sexist. Did I say racist? I meant to say sexist. That's so racist against women. That's racist against men. It's racist against gender. And you have to realize this, guys, that if you want to grow conscious human beings, you cannot be afraid of things like, oh, don't touch that alcohol, or don't touch those drugs. Not to say I'm going to go introduce my kids to drugs, but I absolutely will be, because like I want them to know from me other than from anyone else.
Yeah, educating them before.
And getting them educated before it. And if I'm like, look, if you want to smoke some weed, I mean, daddy's your man. We go, let's go blaze. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am going to blaze with my son. I don't care if you guys think I'm a bad guy, okay? It's legal in Vancouver, in Canada. It's no freaking big deal anymore. I just don't smoke anymore. But the reality is I used to smoke a lot of weed when it was illegal. And this is probably where Sally was like, oh, drugs are bad. Drugs are so bad for you. Blah, blah, blah. And then we come to this age where now it's legal now. I'm like, oh, what you gonna say about that now? But I mean, it's unhealthy. It's not good for you. In case you smoke a lot of weed, you do a lot of drugs, you're fucking up your mind. Your brain has chemicals and it gives to you. And if you do things that give it to you, your brain stops giving it to you. Dopamine, it's in there. Serotonin, melatonin, these things are in your brain. And if you start doing stuff that give you upper or downer, left or righter, you're probably not going to be able to produce that on your own. It's going to mess with your freaking brain. It fries your brain. So remember that, okay, guys? Like, I get it. Once in a while it's fine to kill some brain cells. It's the most funnest. That's one of the most fun things to do. But at the same time, I want to look back at my son and be like, I'm going to leave this kid a legacy. I'm not just going to mess him up for life. I want him to absolutely have power in his world. So your right to sexuality and your right to exist, your right to need other people, your right to assert your voice, and your right to be independent, they are absolutely important.
Make sure that it's all balanced.
1 out of 3 women are molested or something at very young age. So like, you have to recognize something here, that this could be a challenge for someone to speak into their power and grow into who they are because of the fact that when they were younger, someone it was an unsolicited event that and they probably didn't say they didn't know better, and it happens, and we have to speak up against it. Even a friend of mine was. He was a friend of mine, and then next thing you know, people were like, "Oh my God, did you hear? He got arrested." Like, what the hell did he do? It's like he was with a 14-year-old, and I'm like, damn, you would never know that people do this. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I got girls, I got little boys. Like, I want to make sure they grow up honoring the fact that they have the right to give life. They have the right to enjoy themselves sexually, the right to enjoy their partner, and not have this weird complex around them that makes them feel like they can't be vulnerable. Like, that is unbelievable. Hey, Mama, thanks for coming to see us today. My mommy and my daddy came to see me today, and they gave me Easter egg chocolates. It was crazy.
Oh,
and I'm like, those were not for the kids. Those were for daddy. I just can't eat chocolates anymore because I lost 9 pounds, 10 pounds, guys. In like about a week and a half.
Just by changing our diet.
I didn't believe it when Omar told this to me. Omar Menzies. If you don't know him, look him up. He's super boss. He's like, dude, man, you got to get on that keto. And I'm like, keto. All right, cool. Isn't that like a lottery? I'm like, oh, it's a keto. But the reality is that I was like, okay. Fine. Stop eating bread. Stop eating bagels. Stop eating,
And then once you stop, it's like you get used to it. And then when you're given too much rice, for example, you don't eat everything.
That's true. I didn't actually eat it. I stopped finishing my rice. And I'm not done yet, Chrissy. All right. I got like another 20 pounds to go. And I was like the heaviest I've ever been. I was like 220 pounds. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to be 220 pounds? Like, you should be like 190 pounds, 185 pounds. Like, what the hell? And I call it the happy 20. I got happy. I got kids. I stopped doing drugs. Next thing you know, I turned to sugar. I turned to like eating and snacks and stuff. When I get sad, I emotionally eat. And, you know, Sally, I put on sympathy weight because Sally was pregnant. And I mean, those are all super sad excuses for not loving and treating yourself the way you should. But the reality is that I felt pleasure by getting food. It made me feel.
Your mom's giving you the right to be
You look great, thank you. Well, of course, my mom always did that. Mom, you always like told me I was lovely, I was handsome, and that I was special, and that you love me, and that you're always gonna love me. And I appreciate that a lot. I took it the wrong way. I ended up seeking that from every single thing in my life that I needed to be accepted, except from myself. And I realized this the other day, and I'm like, huh, interesting. So and you give these rights to yourselves, guys. You don't have to get them from someone else. You cannot get them from someone else. And it's nuts. And Chrissy's saying, all in moderation. You sound like my mother. And she loves to say things like that as well. And I'm like, yeah, even moderation in moderation. But the reality is, guys, is that you can't ask anyone else for these. And if you do need to ask someone, I am here telling you, you have the right to exist. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You have the right to need help. You don't need to worry about being too vulnerable. You can ask someone for help. And my dad comes over and I'm like, you know, I have a problem asking for help. Let me ask you something because I mean, you know, I enjoy his advice. I enjoy what he has to say. And, you know, now that I'm actually paying attention, you know, before he was like, why would I tell you that? You don't even listen to me anyway. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is that I want to ask, I need to know. I want, because, you know, he's one of my most powerful original mentors. He was the original OG mentor in my life. Okay, so I absolutely honor everything my dad said. It makes me feel silly now thinking about how much of a stupid shit I was as a kid, thinking like, I ain't listening to my dad, I'm gonna do my own thing. I needed to seek my own independence and assert my own voice. And next thing you know, I got scolded and disciplined for that. So then I ended up seeking it elsewhere, and I wanted to grow my ability to perform, and I wanted to be on stage. I want people to like me because I was beat up and bullied a lot in school. So I developed that need, the deficiency and the right to assert my voice. Interesting, right? I talk for a living. And that's such a wonderful feeling to think that, man, I'm free of this now. I'm not actually going to be held underneath these whack-ass stories of what I'm, you know, like, oh my God, like it's just, it's one of those things where, you know, I believe that we all have it, but not everybody has the same. Not everybody has the same need. Not everyone has the same thing they're missing. Some people are missing more. Some people are missing less. I get it. But the reality is, guys, is that only you can really prevent forest fires. Okay? Only you can really do that for yourself. And you have to take that right for yourself. You have to assert your own voice. You have got to express yourself, your sexuality. That can be tough for people who are like confused, or they don't, you know, they don't speak up for their own voice, or, you know, maybe they had a neglectful sexual relationship with themselves, or because of parents or siblings or whatever shows up. You know, that feeling to be there, to think what happens. Like, I remember, I'm going to call out my sister. She's not on Facebook. She doesn't watch my lives, so she won't see this. She was young, super young, and she didn't like the way her skin, she didn't like the way, she didn't like how her skin looked. And so she wore lots of makeup, and it made her skin worse. This is my little baby sister.
Oh.
And, you know, it was this feeling that, like, you know, she wanted to assert her own right to be independent, her need to want to feel that inside of herself. And we end up covering ourselves, or feeling like, and then next thing you know, I don't remember if it was me or my sister or my mom or whoever, something was found, like, oh, you're wearing too much. And she became very self-conscious. So we took her right to be away from her because she was already going through a very fragile time, you know, 12, 13, younger, even 14. You got acne and pimples and puberty's like up the yazoo, and we all have big noses in our family. So of course, that's the first thing that grows. And you're just like, oh man, like I feel so thankful that as adults, we get a chance to go back, get mentors. Good night, Mama. Love you. We'll see you soon.
Mom. Thank you for visiting, and thank you for this beautiful.
And all those gifts. We have lots of goodies. I love when my parents guys give me stuff. I was even telling to Sally, I'm like, we're not going to get into that habit of just buying our kids things when we go on vacation or we go traveling, because that's what happened. My parents would come home and be like, so what'd you get me? And then I'm like, oh man, it's come full circle. And now my kids are like, what did you get me? What did you get me? I'm like, that's not how this. I got you a safe and loving trip home to meet your parents again. Okay, so we're home now for you. But these are your rights. These are your human rights, at least a few of them, that you get, and they are yours. You don't need to ask for permission. You absolutely have them, okay?
Yeah, and if you have children, if you're a parent, then it's really important that you say this to your children.
I'm not gonna lie. It took a little courage to tell my kids that they had the right to their own sexuality. They're 4 and 6, okay? Like, I'm like,
yeah,
like, what's that? I'm like, it's just this thing that, like, it's not gonna make sense now because you're in this age of innocence, but I don't want to put a weird level of taboo energy around it because I want you to be, functioning adults that are properly functioning when you're older. Don't fall into that. Okay. So cool. Very, very cool stuff that we had to experience. It was a very wonderful time we had out there. It was a wonderful seminar. This is last week for anybody who's joining us. What the hell are you talking about, Bobby? Last week we went on Learn on our communication. We learned a bunch of cool tricks. I basically found myself in a way that I've never found myself before.
Yeah, it's like it's transformed me into the real me. I
Cutie.
stopped hiding like a hidden dragon, you have to start showing yourself.
Yeah, she's
Stop
a visible
hiding
dragon now.
Because you have your own power.
Absolutely. And it could take some time to assert your voice. It could take some time to, I've been to the same, and three of mine are teens and pretty well adjusted. See? This is a wonderful feeling to think that we're raising consciousness inside of our kids.
Yeah.
But one of the most powerful things you can ever do in your life, for your family, for your business, for your wealth, is get right with you. Get right with yourself. Otherwise, your business ain't going to work. You're going to be searching for the winning ad or searching for like the lead that's going to turn your whole business around. That's you. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself or no one else is going to invest in you. That's what I felt before I met Sally, was that I have to love myself. This is back in 2010. I have to learn how to love myself before anyone else is going to ever love me. And I had my ex relationship to thank for that. She left after 5 years of cheating on me. Then she walked out on me. And I'm like, far out, what did I do wrong? I didn't stand up for myself for a very long time. And I was relationshiply abused for a very long time. And for about like 5 or 6 years, I bounced in and out of trying to see people, but never getting into a serious relationship. It was sad because I wanted to be in a relationship more than anything else. I wanted my life. I wanted my little baby.
Unicorn. I just wanted to interrupt the pattern there. I didn't want him to go back to that memory of a bad memory that could affect his relationship.
I see you now, and this affects my memory in a very positive way. I'm like, ha, I did it. And so I actually feel victorious. So it makes me feel like I'm okay to experience, the negative memory. It's not like,
thank you, Melissa.
It's not like I'm trying so relate to this. Oh man, we all do. There's only like 5 or 6 problems everyone has. It's not like we're like super complicated. It's the same story over and over. We basically need to be liked, or we need to like ourselves. We don't like ourselves as much. We didn't get this or that from mommy or daddy, or we got this or that from mommy or daddy, or something happened to us in life. There was some level of an event, something occurred, and it changed the way we decided to look at the world. And I'm like, wow, to think that we can actually fix this, and you actually get a chance to put your life back together. Angela, what's up? How's it going? Wave to you. Guys, we've come up to the hour. We're done.
Ready?
We outie like a belly button. I want to really appreciate and thank you guys so much for watching, for hanging out with us. This message has been brought to you by lifestylebysally.com or bobbyfperryhard.xyz. Come and book your numerology session if you're inside of our community. If you're not, doesn't matter. Come and see me. If you're not inside of our community and you're wondering, how do you guys even work at home? Like, what do you guys even do? Hey, we're affiliate marketers. We have a program that teaches people how to become self-sufficient entrepreneurs online using social media to be able to leverage the internet and leverage these platforms like they're already doing for you. You guys ever talk about aliens? And then next thing you know, you see an ad that says, Alien Anthology, on sale now. And I'm like, how does Facebook know? Because in the terms and the conditions of the fine print, they own everything you do on their platform. So you can actually show up and utilize this for your advantage, and we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to share your message with a larger, broader audience than the 5,000 people you know, or max that you could know, and to actually affect change onto them by basically paid advertising. And then we partner up with juggernauts in the industry that teach people how to actually do this step by step, click by click, and it's a made-for-you system. So we're super blessed to have that in our community. This is why we're here. This is why we wanted to come through. And of course, brought to you by the lovely Enagic. Okay, this is the reason why I got here in the first place, was because I decided 4 years ago I wanted to get into business, and I wasn't going to take no shit, no mo. And I didn't want to get fired anymore. And I wanted control. I wanted control over my business and over my wealth, but I didn't have any control over my life and over myself. So I failed. I failed over and over and over and over, and I continuously fail to this day proudly, because I know that failure is a mark of true success. The failure doesn't even try as many times as the successful person fails. A successful person fails far more times than a failure even goes at the bar. Like, think about that. You need to fail your way forward, fail your way to success, fail your way to the finish line. That's one of the most biggest things. You is finding out another one of the 10,000 ways a light bulb doesn't work before the thing goes off in your head, and you realize, oh my God, I'm the business.
Imagine if he stopped or he gave up after like 500, right? He wouldn't have figured that out.
He would have been halfway there. Would have been like, you know what? Let's just improve the candle. Instead, Alexander Bell, Graham Bell, created the telephone, light bulb. Thomas Edison created the light bulb. You know, but he kept going, and you know, 500 is not half of 10,000, but still, it's like 5%. What is it? Whatever. Like 5%. Yeah, no, it's 10,000 ways. Not
okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, Melissa's saying yes. So failure until we succeed. Persist until. Yeah. Take your deck. Take your deck of cards. You know, the one that says confidence, the one that says failure, the one that says love, the one that says commitment, the one that says, you know, passion or whatever. You got a deck of cards that you use every day. Okay? Take this. This is us. We're doing this right now. Visualize in your head that you have a deck of cards that you play every single day of your life. Okay? Turn them around, face up, spread them all across your table in your life, and pick up quit and rip it up. If you want to be successful in business, you need to take the card that says quit and rip that up so that it is not an option and you do not have to worry about ever failing your way into misery, into quitting. You absolutely must do that. If you want to be successful and you want to survive this game, you must absolutely make sure that quitting is not an option. After that, failure is fine. Hey, I'll fail. I fail all the time. I'd rather be confident and fail than underconfident and not even try.
You don't really fail. The only time, I say this all the time, the only time you fail is when you quit.
Cool. So don't quit. We'll see you guys next week. How's that?
Hey, I just wanted to say as well, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank my grandma. And it's bad news. She passed away today. And she was the one that really took care of me when I was a kid. So she was like my mom. And it was sad to hear that she's gone. But you know what? It's because of what we went to Arizona for. It made me think like, she's not really gone. She's still here in my heart. And it's just a different relationship now. And now I get to talk to her in meditation.
It was interesting because I got a chance to meet her. And we went to the Philippines.
That's right.
We went to the Philippines, and up until now, I know Sally. She's got 3 kids. There's 2 grandparents, and then 2 more grandparents. That's it. Okay, or maybe this is about all of the people she has in her life. Then we look at my life: mom, dad, 2 sisters, sisters married, 2 nephews. Then I have about 17 cousins, and they all have about 3 kids each, and I have about 10 or 15 aunts and uncles. There is a gang of people. So we went to the Philippines. And I went to go meet. Sally's got a gang of people out there. And then we meet this little old lady. This is like her grandmother that raised her. And we just found out today at 3:33, Sally found out that she like basically, you know, passed away.
Thank you, Melissa.
I was doing a session at the time, and I saw it on my watch, and I'm like, and I had to, the show must go on. Someone paid me to be there, so I couldn't respond to Sally, and I wasn't going to be like, sorry, my wife's grandmother just passed away, and you know, for me, I'm observant of this in sort of a third person perspective. But she created a legacy. She created a family. There are people underneath there. There were kids and kids and kids on kids on kids on kids. like 3 or 4 generations deep after this woman.
She lives forever. That's how I see it.
And especially now, because this woman was like, she was in the hospital, and this woman here was like, we got to send her something. We got to help her out. And this feeling was like, you know what? You're a living testament of the power of the people that come before you. So don't take life for granted, and rest in peace. And I'm so sorry that you had to experience that loss today, honey.
Thank you, Nathia. Thank you,
Yeah.
honey. So if you may have lost a family member before and you feel like you can't get over it, or you feel like they're gone, don't think that they're gone. They're here in our hearts, and it's just a different relationship now.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it was a pleasure to connect with you. Much love, much respect. I appreciate you guys for watching. And kind of, we went a little bit overtime. No big deal. It's all good. You guys catch yourselves. So we'll catch you guys soon next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. And thank you guys so much for your well wishes. And absolutely, the legacy that Sally takes forth now and creates for her family, she will be creating something to be proud of for sure. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your night.